Oh man. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, I do love that they give me the vote here.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, what do you think, Teresa?
I'm like seriously 100% torn.
Me too.
Because I mean, of all of the stuff that we were talking about, while Fusaishi was waxing poetic with his dick, um, like there's
Yeah,
really no way to know. We don't have any information about either of them. We just have like the guessing that Fusaishi's been doing, right?
and none of this seems like it's going to yield any new information. I feel
Yeah.
like, I feel like, all right.
Yeah, the writing in this game is really good.
Fuck me.
I'm
So
getting
okay,
real invested in all of these characters.
all right. So here's here's I mean at this point it's just do we think with our head or do we think with our dick? That's it.
I
That's what
mean,
these choices are.
sure, okay, well, I mean, my vote then is thinking with our head.
Yeah, so vote for Rikako.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's hmm.
I feel like it doesn't really matter a whole lot because I feel like based on how we've been going so far, our first choice,
Has
whenever
always
we
been
get a
wrong.
decision, has always been wrong.
All right, then yeah, let's vote for Rikako.
Yeah.
Let's be full on shithead since we literally just embraced her and said that we were going to survive, and now I'm going to vote for her.
Yep.
Doubting others was essentially my creed. That's because I believed it was more logical to trust only myself and take responsibility for the outcome over bearing the risk of trusting others. Yep, he's gaslighting himself into. Yep, this is it. This is the bad choice.
Yep.
When I came back to that rule, I was trusting Rikako-san as openly as I had so far. That was the exception for me. It made more sense to doubt her. And so, I said it.
リカ子さんの方が信じられるとは。
票を取れ。
待ってください。この二人のどちらが正しいかは今日のカゴを使って調べますから、今日は待ってください。
じゃあ
Really?
誰殺すんだよ。あ？俺か？鴨志田か？それとも知恵ねえか？
殺す気か？ハッサン。春明さん、嘘でしょ？
Oh, fuck you. No, two of you are wolves. Yeah, snake power won't. Yeah, this is.
いいのです。春明様。
リカ子さんいけない。
君、何を？リカ子さんは一体何をやろうとしてるんだ？
自己犠牲精神なんていらない。
I like how the game gave us the choice, and like we were very obviously allowed to select Rikako, and Haruaki is still just like pussyfooting
怪
around
しい
it.
でしょ。
Mhm.
私は人ですが、私がくくられても、私はこれ以上休み
Alright.
退場することで
This is definitely gonna take 3 hours with the way she
最後
talks.
の休みずへの
リカ子さん。
不採し
Whoa. Takumi-san shouted louder than ever before, shutting me
お
up.
前がその女を助けたかったなら、その女を信じなきゃダメだった。お前がそうできなかった時点で、その女が助かることはなくなった。
そんな。
お前がそう言わないってことは、その女が生きてることが人の勝利に必ずしも必要な。少なくともお前は、そう確信していない。それを否定できなかった時点で、お前の選択は済んじまってるんだよ。あとは男らしく決着しろ。
Yeah.
Are you gonna plow us again, Takumi?
Please. Damn it. I've never been more resentful of my adherence to the rules than I was now.
僕、
To my rules. God, this guy is so fucking insufferable.
上松リカ子さんをくくることを提案する。
はい。
Rikako-san smiled. Why couldn't I just trust her? Is she just gonna yeet herself into the Saranaga?
植松として藤吉の意味と汚れの森人として恥じるところない最後を
She said it. Rikako-san
自ら
led
なして
her own funeral procession.
ご覧に入れます
She's still talking with a sonorous voice. She sung prayer to Shinai. She bowed to the Okiba along the way as she recited prayers and sutras. No one rebuked her, for they all understood her actions were the manifestation of her faith. For she was right. And then we reached the cliff at the Hanging Pine overlooking the misty Saranaga. Rikako-san turned away from us, faced the cliff, and chanted sutras.
衆上具部大三霊映写官位大号へ時間を門大五年南無神内大権現
Her words were directed at no one. They merely faded into the mist. She clapped her hands, held them over her head, and bowed. It was similar to a Yasumizu bow, but felt more right than that. Rikako-san looked back
さようなら
and spoke only those words. She paid no heed to the only voice that called out to her. Her black sleeves fluttered, and she threw herself into the mist. Ooh! After several seconds, we heard a crunching noise from down
聞いちゃ
below.
ダメ
A little late.
That's a little late, yeah.
Chiemi covered Mako's ears. The little girl started to cry.
お前が、お前が、お前があんなことを言うから、いや、違う。それもこれも。なんだ、なぜ、私たちは、こんなことに。
I mean, if you think about it in a weird way, we've protected her from Fusaishi.
Yeah. he left while muttering to himself.
ほっといてやれ。あいつもあれで男だ。女が死ねば思うところもあるさ。みんな帰るぞ。
We returned to the dining hall, but all of us were caught up in depression. There was barely anyone who wasn't feeling the loss of Tai-san, Haru-chan, and Rikako-san in any way. Excluding the old man. We didn't know if we could expect all that much from him as the spider. Mako had cried herself to sleep and had been left in her place, while Kiyonosuke Shi had returned to his mansion. Takumi-san and Kanzo-san were busy cleaning up Haru-chan. Aside from them, everyone else was here.
元気が出るものを作らなきゃね
Yeah! Kaori-san said that with forced enthusiasm. Since her sons were still alive, she was probably in a relatively better mood than the rest of us. Incidentally, I'd stopped helping with the cleanups in the kitchen. They said it was because they couldn't put the snake at risk out in the mist, but they were also probably being cautious of me. So I just sat by myself. Chiemi was talking to the boys, showing her own consideration for them to lift her spirits. It seems she had no intention of talking to the old wolf guy.
春明様お話をその
Yeah, I mean, I do hope that the fucking old man is the spider and does his job. The woman who always wanted to talk was gone. We should be able to progress through the game much quicker now.
It's true, yeah.
Before long, Kaori-san had finished making the food. Takumi-san and Kanzo-san returned from the cleanup, and we finally had our first meal of the
今
day.
日は気疲れしたでしょたっぷり食べてね房石さん
ありがとうございます。
The fact that I checked my bowl for something green made me realize how ill-natured I really was. Unfortunately, that was just how I was, so I would at least keep up my mask and effectively give them conscience of my own kind. I sat down, put my hands together, picked up the chopsticks, and ate the rice gruel. Like always, it was simple, beastly, yet still good. I only felt that something was wrong with it a bit later. At first, I just thought that I'd burned my mouth or something. But suddenly, I couldn't feel my mouth at all. And after an unnatural sensation that overwhelmed my tongue and cheeks, I lost my sense of direction. Did she just poison me?
Sure seems that way.
My body twisted, and right as a dull pain went through my head, I fell to the floor. I'd been poisoned. I could understand that clearly, but all my processing power went into dealing with the unnatural feeling attacking my body. I couldn't see properly. I couldn't breathe or speak. Despite that, I still had a burning pain in my mouth and an urge to vomit, along with unbearable agony. I couldn't understand what was happening around me. It was probably pure chaos, but I was struggling to even breathe, and it was only getting worse. A sudden, intense impact hit my back. My body jumped, and then I puked. My breathing stabilized for a moment. I could hear a voice as well as see something, a wet floor and my own hands. However, the nausea didn't end. The spasms made me feel like my chest was turning inside out, and I soon puked again. I was beyond help. I would die in just a few minutes. Once I understood and accepted that, I found myself able to think a little clearer. This was a gamble the wolves had taken. They'd killed outside of the feast. They were prepared to face the corruption. They'd poisoned the food. By doing so, they could get rid of me or someone else. And they could frame the crime on Kaori-san, the chef. They could also destroy the fixed majority comprising of Takumi-san, Kanzo-san, Kiyonosuke, Kaori-san, and I. By sacrificing one of the remaining wolves, they'd gain a big reward. I see. So the wolves were that serious. God damn! I'd been given a lethal dose of poison. There wasn't any hope for me at all, was there? How would I get past this? Hey, Rikako-san, this is a horrible thing to ask, but you wouldn't happen to know, would you? Just before my consciousness faded into the mist, I saw a hallucination of Rikako-san looking down on me with a sad smile. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No hint corner. We're gonna go back and deal with the old man.
Accuse the old man. You know, honestly, I would find this a lot more frustrating. Like, it seems like everything we pick is wrong on the first go, and we have to go through all the wrong ones to get the correct one.
Right.
But, like, sitting through Haruaki dealing with the results of his shittiness, just, it's very satisfying to me. So I'm kind of glad that happened.
Ooh. Shit. No. Shit. I don't want to... Maybe I would just believe Rikako-san. Yeah. It is, you know, it really is interesting to see the flip side of things. I really... God, as much as we give Haruaki shit for thinking with his boner, like, the writing in this game is really good.
It is really good.
I was really, like... It's very rare for me to, like, for, like, a 50-50 choice like that, to sit there and really think about the repercussions of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, even
Even
accusing Rikako-san there does not necessarily mean that she isn't the Badger. It just means that by doing that, like, they gave us, like, the poisoned ending. That, like, it doesn't necessarily mean we were wrong. So, yeah. What's your proof? Boner doesn't like him. It didn't have to be true as long as everyone was won over. That's still shitty!
Yep.
No. The feast was a game where people hunted lies. Yeah, I couldn't let my eloquence alone do the talking. I needed truth. Did I have to talk about Mako then? No, that would make me simply unforgivable. I mean, you've done some pretty terrible shit. You might as well go all the way. Then... Yeah, okay. See, this shit. I would play the role presented to me. That was the only way for me to gain their trust.
どういうこと?
僕がもし今夜死ねば、僕が間違いなく蛇だったということ。匠さんと野里さんが人だという証明になります。今日一人くくってるのだから、残り10人、人確定が5人。ただし、香織さんのみ自己申告。しかし、残り5人は香織さんに票を集めることはできないでしょう。な、吉次君。
Yeah, the fixed majority, yeah.
お袋には投票しねえ。
だから、 必ず5人組の方が投票で勝てる。多数派工作は成功する。まあ最終的に吉次君が裏切らないという保証が必要ですが、結局これも信じるかどうかって話ですね。
俺は裏切らねえ。
判断は皆さんに任せましょう。一方、僕が死ななかった場合、皆さんはもう少し不安な思いをすることになる。ただ僕は今日生き残るなら、残る5人のうち最も怪しいと思う人間を過去で調べることができる。狼が当たればそれをくくり、人が当たればそれを確定として扱い、残り4人から1人をくくる。その次の日に僕が死んでも確定者は5人、残りは3人。狼の残り人数は香織さんが調べられる。最悪の最悪、残り3人くくっても最終的には人が勝ちます。休みず側の誰かが生き残ります。そこから先、どのタイミングで僕が死んでも確定者が増えるだけで、人的には全然問題はない。勝ち確定。じゃあ僕が生き続けたら、それが最も気になるところでしょうが、僕は最悪でもあさってまでに狼を全滅させることを誓います。
That was an impactful line. I could see and hear them gasp. It felt good, but I didn't show it.
失敗したなら僕をくくって結構。その結果、僕が狼だったとしても残り一人の狼を探す時間はある。つまり現状はどうしたって人が有利な状況なので、どっちをくくってもさほど問題はありませんが、正気か地方か、それとも悪意を持っているのかすら判別のつかない老人は、たとえ人でも残すべきじゃない。
春秋さん。
それにおそらくリカ子さんは早晩狼にやられてしまうことでしょう。本物の雲は脅威ですからね。
はい、その覚悟です。
しばらくその方針で進めて、それでダメなら僕とリカ子さんをくくればいい。それが安心材料になるでしょう。しかし言動に責任を持たない彼を残していれば、いつまでも不安要素を抱え込んでおくことになる。だから僕は彼をくくるべきだと提案します。最も確実な道を取るために。あともう僕は彼女が本物だと思っていますし、非常に些細なことですが信じる要因もある。
Oh my god.
I have a minor detail that makes me inclined to believe her.
言いませんが、
It's my boner. It is in fact my boner.
ただ
I only
匠
trust
さんの
Boner
言うよ
san.
うに僕は現時
I
点で
trust nothing
死
but
ぬ気は
Boner
さらさらあ
san.
りませんし、リカ
I
子
don't
さ
even
んが
trust
命を
myself.
通して守
Only
ってくれ
Boner
る
san.
と当然のように期待していますから。
Minor because it's small? Yes,
Oh yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
僕は実のところこういう卑劣な人間ですが、僕が蛇の加護を引いた以上、
You know, considering that he's
僕はこう
kind
いう
of
攻
just
略
this,
法を
this
行います
weaselly little shit, the fact that he's the snake is honestly kind of fitting.
僕の将来の命
A
を
little
かける
bit,
という
but
こと
also,
が
these four animals don't have the same sort of connotations in Japanese myth as they do
Oh
in
no,
Western.
僕が
you're,
唯一
you're
行
absolutely
える
right.
誠実さの証明です。
But for us, I guess, from a Western standpoint, looking at him, like, yeah, you are kind of a snake.
信じてください。以上です。
ヤス、キヨ、どうする？
Takumi-san instantly asked that.
信じます。僕は最初から夫妻子さんが蛇じゃないかと思ってましたから。
Yeah, Yasunaga bringing the tea.
そうだな。私も信じよう。何よりもリカ子さんをくくることには承服しかねるのでね。
香織さんは いいな。
はい。安永に委ねますから。
おやっさん。
This was the moment of truth.
おやっさんは
信じられん。
I knew it! I knew it! This fucking old man! Thought as
こい
much.
つが言った理屈にはきっと穴がいくらもある。穴にはまった時責任を取らす術はない。
There's gotta be, like, you haven't even noticed any to point out.
それよりわしは自分を信じる。耐えバーに票を入れた植松を殺す。
The fixed majority will fail then.
おやっさん。
But Takumi-san did something unexpected. Punch him again!
頼む。おやっさんの票を俺にくれ。
He lowered his hands and forehead on the floor. Oh shit!
匠兄ちゃん。
さっき言ったように、俺はこいつの考えを信じてる。
Brutal. Fucking brutal.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, you are spot on, Takumi.
きっと敵に回したら難儀なやつだ。
Oh my god.
し
Spot
かし、悪
on.
どい人間だからって狼になるわけじゃねえ。それとこれと
Oh
は関係ねえ。
damn. Oh damn. There's some fucking shade being thrown.
俺はこいつの言葉の端
Well
々に
deserved.
こいつの本気を見出した。だから信じる。だから俺を信じてくれ。安水で30年の付き合いの俺を信じてくれるなら、もし夫妻氏が嘘つきだと分かったら、たとえ汚れを受けてでも夫妻氏と植松を
Oh damn.
その日のうちに殺す。
God damn.
そう約束する。
He did the same as me. Bet his life on his words.
頼む。
He even gave his honor. I definitely misread that as he even gave his boner.
Well, Freudian slips happen.
たくみ、このバカが。
おやっさん。
てめえは宴の片付けがあんだろうが、わしにはもう何もねえ。汚れはわしが黄泉に持っていく。
Oh.
妻子。
はい。
言うたからには覚悟せえ。己にはタエバーの死の責任もある。それを蛇として取り返せんなら、わしが手ずから生皮剥いでくれる。
Ah, like a snake.
I gulped. I was being glared at by an old hunter who was no stranger to death.
植松、己もな。
覚悟の上です。
こっから票取れ。じじい、てめえだ。
What are we talking about? Without an expression or a word, he pointed at me.
At me, yeah.
じじいに。
One vote.
狼じじいに。
Two votes.
おじいさんに。
Three votes.
安水のご老人に。
Four votes.
狼じじいに一票入れる。
Five votes.
じっちゃん、
Six votes.
よしくんさ、じっちゃんに入れる？
ああ、入れるな。
Seven
じ
votes.
ゃあもう決まりなんだね。
That's majority.
そんなら僕も一緒でいいや。ごめんね、じっちゃん。
鴨志田様。
狼じじいに一票。
春明さんに一票。
知恵ねえ。その意思表示
It's a statement.
だってわかんないんだもん。私リカ子さんには死んでほしくないけど、でもおじいちゃんが単にボケて雲だって言っちゃっただけってのもありそうなのに。
He's been around for a billion years.
Mm-hmm.
なのになんで誰も何も言わないの？なんで春明さんはそのことを言ってくれないの？
言っただろう。どっちでも同じなんだよ。
表が読めないのはメイコちゃんだって同じでしょ？ね。
I vote for Bear!
疑わしさが同じなら、女の子を殺すよりはお年寄りに犠牲になっていただく方が合理的だと僕は。
もういい。リカ子さん、ご老人に。
おじいちゃんに。
おじいさんに。
縄持ってこい。
God damn.
時間が欲しい。
You know, that happened last time. Chikamochi's not going to step in this time, huh?
Kanzo suddenly punched the guy. God damn.
こいつはわしがくくってくる。てめえらはもう戻っとけ。
That's not how this works, buddy.
He quickly tied up the wolf guy and pulled him off into the mist. His voice was strangely subdued, but I could feel intense emotion behind it. None of us knew what made him like that, so we all just sat paralyzed.
Okay, so do they both turn up later with their guts slashed open?
Maybe. The one to move first was Takumi-san.
牧島さん、なんだっつんだ。
By the time I went outside, Takumi-san was already disappearing into the mist.
匠さん、
不採士、てめえは来るな。よし、不採士を捕まえとけ。
お、どういうことなんです？
わからんが、てめえは今一番大事なんだ。万一のことがあったらまずい。
Oh, I love Takumi.
He's so
Just
good.
in case. Yeah, oh yeah, yep. The last time when the wolf guy was going to be lynched, it led to some unexplained murders.
匠さん、言っちゃダメだ。
Oh no. I
あ
shouted
なたは
that.
絶対に宴の勝利には欠かせないんだから。
There was no response. Even his footsteps were vanishing into the mist.
何が起きると知っておる？
I felt my heart jump.
Oh, it's our auto-tune girl.
I turned around and saw nothing besides Yoshitsugu-kun, who was wearing a suspicious scowl.
なんだよ。とにかく行くぜ。匠兄と肝臓じじいに任せておけば何も起きねえ。
Enter the serial killer.
Yep.
てめえが今一人で消えたらどう思われるか考えろよ。
He had a point. They only trusted me because Takumi-san was vouching for me.
そうだね。みんなで食堂に戻っていよう。
Oh boy. My worries were for nothing. And in about half an hour, we were joined by both Takumi-san and Kanzo-san. Oh, goddamn. Their expressions were grim, but implied nothing specific.
狼じじいは
This game, game keeps throwing fucking curveballs at me. Like, every time I'm so sure something's gonna happen. He sat down on the seat closest to the entrance.
匠に
What? Why am I nervous? Because literally every choice leads to something really awful and fucking some death happening.
俺は結局見てない。まあ、おやっさんなら間違いねえだろ。
With that, today's feast had ended. Everyone sighed quietly in relief. There must have been some of the wolves' depression in that. Yeah, didn't see it bothers me. Everything bothers me. Everything is bad. After all, from my perspective, we were just one step away from victory. However, this step would be one that was very hard to take. How easy it would be if I died, and it all ended then. And then I died! However, it would once again be pointless. Until I solved why death hadn't come for me, I remained afraid of this unexplained phenomenon.
You're such a horrible person. Even death doesn't want you.
Until I solved the mystery and escaped this loop, I would see many tragedies, fight against fear, and keep seeing many bad endings. A part of me hoped that winning the feast would end it. But if it didn't, I would have no clue where the core of this mystery was.
Yep, there they are.
Yeah. Was this mystery even solvable? Could I cling to my own sanity until then? I remained uneasy. After a bit of rest, we had tons of things to do. The top priority was cleaning up Mamiya-san and Haru-chan's remains. I wanted to help, but they stopped me, since something might happen in the mist. Go sit in your hut. I couldn't help with the food either, probably because they were wary of me too. I couldn't blame them considering what I said. In a way, they were now more distant with me than last time, when I was just a pure outsider. I continued watching the people carefully do what they had to, making sure there were no blind spots under Takumi's guidance. Eat your food. You know, the thing that fucking killed you last time.
Yeah.
I wanted to win. God, you know, honestly, if I were Haruaki, I would just not do anything. I wouldn't be able to eat, drink, fucking shit, nothing. Everything kills me. I would devolve into this jabbering mess, like the old man.
Like the old man, yes.
I've gotten this far, so I wanted to defeat the wolves. Oh yeah, she absolutely did tell us not to eat the food, but we fucked that pooch a while ago.
Yeah.
Though that was actually just a part of my desire to survive and expose the things I had no choice and expose the things I had no choice but to keep quiet about. There we go. That was a Sometimes the translation for this is like wonky. Said all that horrible stuff in order to protect Mako. I just wanted to finally find peace from the stuff that bothered me. That felt like escapism, though. It seemed like proof that my mental state was weakened, and I didn't like it.
ちなみに夫妻子君、最悪でも明後日ということなら、早ければ明日には勝負がつくということで良いのか。
I mean, one of the wolves is dead. I know who the other wolf is. If the game lets me choose, I mean, there's only a few people left, and it better give me the options I need. I can end it tomorrow. I mean, I don't know. I could, even if I know the wolf, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to end it. I selected Mochi last time, and I still died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As everyone worked and I had nothing to do, Kiyonosuke, who wasn't too involved in the work, whispered that to me.
そうですね。
I didn't know if everyone else believed me, but I did feel like it was close to the conclusion.
それは教えてもらうわけにはいかんのかね。
そうですね。今はまだ。
I couldn't let anyone find out that Mako was the spider. In fact, if I tried to survive after someone found out that she was, and that I prioritized my own survival over hers, I would be the target of everyone's scorn. That was how complicated my current position was.
まあ、やむを得んだろうな。それは、君はその、なんだ。
Oh, are we doing this now?
Oh no!
It's like every time I make a right choice, it's followed up with some inane bullshit like this.
God, this is gonna take 40 minutes. He's gonna yell at us for 40 minutes, and then Rikako is gonna show up and just like stammer at us for another 40 minutes, and that's gonna be our evening.
I would be curious about that. Also, Theresa, you did the perfect Rikako impression.
You like my Rikako impression?
That was perfect. Goddamn. Incidentally, Rikako-san insisted on going with Takumi-san and the others to mourn the ones lost.
無事に霧が晴れたら、そういうのもいいかもしれない、という話はしました。
Oh my god.
そうか。
This is how you get murdered, not by the wolves, but by
jealousy, by a jealous man. What was I
supposed to say? A jealous man in a bolo tie.
植松里香子さんを大事にされているのは、長者としての共感にはとどまらないのですか？だとすれば、まだ何かが決まったわけじゃないので、野里さんも彼女に思いをお伝えになっては？
いや、そういうのはね。私の場合は単に昔のことだ。
ああ、もしかして過去に付き合っておられたとか？
恐れ多いこと。雲の家とはいえご当主様だ。次男坊と釣り合うものじゃないのだよ。
それを言えば、流れ者である僕なんて釣り合う目はないという話になりますが。
その通りだよ。と言いたいところだが、当人同士の気持ちが大事な時代だろう。少なくとも。
I could not care less about any of this.
この村の外は全部。
I know. Like, just lay off the love triangle. You know, the problem that, well, I don't know if it's even a problem. The game would be half as long without all of this, like, relationship bullshit.
時代遅れの束縛でしかない。だから、そんな束縛のない男が、彼女を外の世界で幸せにするならば、それもありなのかもしれん。この霧の中でずっと考えているうちに、そんな風にも思えるようになったのだよ。
僕からは何とも言い難いです。最終的に何をどうするのか選ぶのは
I like by this point how he's completely forgotten about Chiemi.
Yep. Yeah, he doesn't even think about her anymore.
そのあたりは君と彼女の間のことだろう。私が口出しをするのは無粋。
I agree absolutely. The relationships are really important considering the push and pull of the social dynamics in the group for the feast. I absolutely agree. This is just like I I have absorbed so much media over my years, and there's so many things that they feel like they have to push a romantic subplot into. And at this point in my life, like, I feel like so much of these connections could still be established without leaning into romantic subplots.
Yeah.
And that is where I'm sort of like, if I mean, okay, if you're gonna do it, let's not make it so. It feels like half the game is finding the werewolves, and half of the other game is finding out who Haruaki's gonna put his dick in, and I'm not engaged in that. I'm engaged in the werewolf part, and yes, it does feel melodramatic.
I think like
Go ahead. No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say I think I wouldn't be poo-pooing all of the like interaction between like the different NPCs as much if Haruaki were just like firmly out of the romance aspect of it. Like if he weren't trying to bone down on Chimi, if he weren't trying to bone down on Rikako, and if he were just observing all of these other interactions, I feel like I would find them a lot more tolerable. But
Yeah.
since we're like riding around in this clown's head and it's obvious he's a shitty person, and like these two women, as written, are way too good for him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's kind of my other issue, and we talked a little about it a little bit at the beginning of the stream. Um, if this whole game serves as Haruaki's moral redemption as a person, because even he says he's a shitty person, he's a scummy dude. So
Yeah.
if if this all leads to that, great, but it still feels like the kind of the weird problem that I'm having is that Haruaki can loop, and so far we know he's the only one who can. There's hints that maybe Chiemi was able to, or whatever. There was that weird tear thing at the beginning of the second loop, so it's like it's like a weird. I can watch you and learn all about you to get the outcome I desire over all of these many loops, and these people are just sort of drawn to him. Like it seems weird and creepy in that sense. Like, okay, we've made the joke that this is like Groundhog Day. Teresa, have you ever seen the movie Groundhog Day?
I have not, but I know the premise.
Okay, so um, Bill Murray's character obviously can't die. He keeps going through Groundhog Day over and over and over and over and over again. And one of the things he ends up doing is he ends up falling in love with the female lead, who the actress's name escapes me at the moment, but he spends all of these, and it's people have written papers on this fucking movie that it's presumed that he spent like thousands of years in this loop. So in all of that time, he learned everything he could about the female lead because he'd fallen in love with her and was trying to get her to love him back. And at one point in one of the loop, like he's saying like, oh, he slipped up and said all these things he knew about her, and she was justifiably fucking freaked out.
Yeah.
And I know that he hasn't pointed out to anyone that he's looping, but this romantic subplot with Haruaki seems really weird because he can go through all these loops, find out all of these things about these people, and then use it for his own selfish gain. And that bothers me about him. And he hasn't done anything that. Exactly. He can find the loop where he does get with them. And yeah, exactly. He just keeps trying until he finds. He keeps trying until he can put his dick in something. That's exactly what this is. And it bothers the shit out of me. So it's one of those things where, like, if he had started the game with no interest in any of the other characters, no romantic interest whatsoever, and was just trying to survive, and over time in coming through all of these loops and trying to survive, he ended up finding that he genuinely cared about someone. That's a little bit different. But the way that this is presented to us, the audience and the player, it just seems so self-serving.
Yeah.
That is my big issue with the romance in this, especially in regards to Haruaki. You know, I'm all for Kaori and Takumi. great. And in some way, the fact that Kionosuke is pining for Rikako, I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me as long as it doesn't take
Mm-hmm.
up 90% of the game.
Right.
But all of this other shit with Haruaki, who has this advantage over these other characters, no, it bothers me. So
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
彼女がネアのはしためとして背負ってきたものはきっと君にはひどくキーに思えるだろうし重くのしかかるだろう。
と言いますと？
それは私の口から言えることでもない。まあもし何か困ったことがあれば
それはぜひ。
Really?
interesting.
Oh.
He then gave me a business card. Kionosuke no Sato, MD, graduated from XX University. I love XX University. Doctor? Wow, so he really was an elite. It wasn't for a specific job, it was just his personal info. Was he looking for a new job? It had his email and phone number on it, and it felt like a relic. Looking at it prompted a bit of nostalgia, even. The bedroom woman servant's role, huh? Was he being considerate, or was it some sort of warning? It didn't seem like I could ask any further, especially with all the people here, so I would just take it as goodwill and move on. And I didn't think much of this, but I had absolutely no idea that I would catch a glimpse of a new kind of darkness from the Uematsu family, and Fujiyoshi as a whole. The cleanup was over and everyone returned to
今日
eat.
は気疲れしたでしょ。たっぷり食べてね、夫妻子さん。
ありがとうございます。
Am I getting poisoned again? Kaori-san was a good person. I didn't know everything about her, but she treated everyone with respect, keeping her relationships proper and bright. God damn it, I forgot about that. I knew for sure that her personality was supported by her sons. She'd arrived at Fujiyoshi, had to deal with their strange customs, lost her husband, and was sent here to Yasumizu, where she'd lived for over a decade. Her mind was actually very frail at this point, and without her sons to support her, she would easily break.
Yep.
However, even if it came from a strained mind and heart, goodwill was goodwill, and conscience was conscience, not to mention that she didn't do anything bad yet. The fact that I checked my bowl for something green, despite that, made me realize how ill-natured I really was. Unfortunately, that was just how I was, so I would at least keep up my mask and effectively give them conscience of my own kind. I sat down, put my hands together. This is the same thing as before. Like always, it was simple, beastly, yet still good. I only felt that something was wrong with it a bit
Really?
later. Oh, at first I thought that yep, here we go. I'm getting poisoned again. Son of a bitch.
Okay.
Don't pay my, I fell to the floor. I've been poisoned. Yeah, okay, it's the same thing.
Are we gonna get a key or something at the end of this? Like,
It was probably pure chaos, but I was struggling to even breathe. It was only getting worse. Yeah.
is there anything different?
My breathing stabilized for a moment. I could hear her voice. The only difference is that I got Kionosuke's business card.
Well, Kaori, the way he talked about Kaori before he ate the food was a little different too.
Yeah.
そんな口にしてすぐだとこの辺りのものならば渦しか
Oh, Nosato. Oh, maybe the difference is
Oh.
Nosato's gonna save us.
Yeah. Oh, because he had left before. Because
Yeah.
Rikako died, he got fucking butthurt and walked out.
私も
What, eat the
食べたよ。
business card and induce vomiting? Okay.
オリベのてめえ。
違う。
Heck.
違います。
The business card will save me. Save me, business card son. Save me.
とにかく吐かせねばホースゴムホースはあるかね
Oh my
Oh, God
god.
damn.
胃洗浄だろくにやったことはないがやるしかあるまい
Oh, God.
すぐに蛇口につなぐんだ早く
I couldn't understand what they were talking about. My burning throat was a clear message that this was lethal.
春秋さんしっかりして。心臓マッサージとかしないと。
必要だが水場に運んでからだ道を開けろ誰か湯を沸かせ
Someone was treating me somehow. I could tell that much, but I also knew it was too late. I was strangely calm about it, too. So this was the end, huh? Like I figured, making it to the end as the snake was pretty difficult. What about next time, then? What was I supposed to do to move forward? Ugh, shit. I want to bring as many memories as possible to the next time around. I want to hear what they were saying, memorize it, and analyze it properly on the next loop. That was unlikely, though. All my memories of my final moments so far were pretty vague. I was fated to never die, yet to die many times. It was a really interesting thing to think about, but not even those who returned seemed to be given the key to the mysteries of the final moments.
ダメだ。もう心音が。
春ダ
Even the pain was becoming dull. My mind was on the verge of fading.
メここから出てください
What?
Oh, I guess we're gonna find out what that bedroom woman servant does.
リカ聞かねえ。
Oh, the corruption thing.
彼の病毒は
Oh.
私が引き取る
Everyone suddenly fell silent, and I thought this was because my senses were fading. However, it was actually the opposite. My senses were absurdly clear, considering the situation. This could have been a pre-death lull, or perhaps some sort of delusion. I would have preferred to die while paralyzed, though. Clearly feeling the pain of death wasn't exactly a good time. That was a weird statement to make, but the absurdity was lost on me. Suddenly, I felt the light past my eyelids grow weaker. Once it was almost completely dark, I realized it was because the windows were closed. I slowly opened my eyes. I couldn't see clearly, but only because of the dim lighting in the shut dining hall. I moved my head, but it felt really heavy. My heart had almost stopped pumping blood. My pulse was dull and weak. I was certain I would die soon. But then, I felt Rikako-san approach me. Her expression wasn't clear to me, but her breathing was strangely loud. She was panting, but trying to endure it. I thought that because of the slight quivering in each of her breaths. After wiping her mouth, she brought her body close to mine.
Ugh.
No, she actually straddled me. Though she was in a position where she could look down on me, she looked at me with upturned eyes. That, in addition to her bashful expression, made it clear that she was about to do something sinful. She stopped hiding the intensity of her breathing. Her small tongue, wet with saliva, was peeking through her mouth, and it was extremely lustful. I could feel her warmth on my abdomen. With her every breath, I felt the hardness of her pelvis despite all the cloth between us. Even though I was dying, or maybe because of it, the feeling of the opposite sex on me awakened the instinct, the man within me. Really?
There is no man within you, Haruaki. You're a little bitch.
Her voice felt like it didn't belong to her. A refined, traditional woman. A woman that appeared younger than she was. A clumsy woman with some unfortunate tendencies. A mysterious woman. None of that was there. She was now lustful, bewitching, overpowering. The enchanting, mature lady squirmed as if suffocating in her familiar black clothing. As I noticed that, she reached for the edge of my shirt, lifted it up, and went in with her fingers with practiced motions. They were cold. I could feel them on my skin, passing my belly button, making me moan lightly. She then reached her other hand in and moved them both without restraint. As her arms went deep inside, her palms caressed my torso, and her fingers lustfully searched for any sensitive spots. Despite my confusion, it made me moan over and over. She was toying with my near-mortal clarity, which was both confusing and a bit uncomfortable. Yeah! However, I didn't resist. Because my limbs were weak from the poison? No, that would just be making excuses. I enjoyed that she was having her way with me. It was exciting, numbing, and paralyzing. However, when she reached for my belt and tried to undo it, I somehow found the power to put my right hand and try to push her aside.
God.
It was a feeble gesture, but enough to get the message across.
So?
Her whisper told me that she understood me, but was somewhat indifferent about it.
仕方ない
Her expression is super weird.
Yeah. She moved and backed away to the side. As her warmth faded, the coldness from the impending death came back.
少し痛いけど
She then smiled and took something out of her
楽
sleeve.
になって
An ice pick? It seemed like a Japanese-made awl. Upon seeing it, I couldn't understand anything anymore. Was she going to make love to me? With the ice pick?
Oh no.
Torture me? Kill me? I couldn't understand, but it appeared that my resistance from a moment ago left me completely powerless and unwilling to do anything. As my vision grew dim, so did my senses. But then I felt a pain in my left shoulder. Had she pierced me with the awl? That was the last thing I thought and felt before losing consciousness. My eyes opened and I sat up. My
春
I
さん
I got fucking nothing anymore. Jimmy was right next to me for some reason. She was holding my hand, crying her eyes out.
よかったよ。
She then rested her forehead on the back of my hand and began crying even more fiercely. I looked around.